dear. Oh, somewhere there's a teacher with a heart that never quits, staying after school to help some inner city kids. A mother who's a volunteer, a soldier in the fight. I can't help but ask myself when I lay down at night, did I make a difference in somebody's life? What hurts did I heal? What wrongs did I right? Did I raise my voice in defense of the truth? Did I lend my hand to the destined to? When my race is run, when my song is sung, will I have to wonder, did I make a difference? I'm working hard to make a living and forgetting what true living is. Whoa, I'm taking more than giving, something's missing, Lord. How long can I go on like this? 'Cause there's a lonely old man down the street, and I should be ashamed. I've never been to see him, I don't even know his name. Well, there's kids without their supper in my own neighborhood. Will I look back one day and say that I did all I could? Did I make a difference in somebody's life? What hurts did I heal? What wrongs did I right? Did I raise my voice in defense of the truth? Did I lend my hand to the destined to? When my race is run, when my song is sung, will I have to wonder, did I make a difference? Did others see Jesus in me? Will I have to wonder, did I make a difference? Oh, make a difference.
And that was Southern Raised from their latest project called Make a Difference. That was the title cut from it. And it is really an honor for me to introduce them to you now. They are Lindsay, Sarah, Emily, and Matthew, and together they make up Southern Raised. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Each individual, identify yourself and the instrument you play in the group so we can kind of get a feel for who's who.
Absolutely. I'm Lindsay, and I play the upright bass and sing low harmony vocals, and I also do most of the MC work for the band.
I'm Sarah, and I play the banjo, and I sing mostly tenor and do some lead work, too. My name's Emily, and I play the violin and mandolin, and I do most of the lead work.
And I'm Matthew, and I sing bass vocals and play guitar.
Well, what inspired you to record your latest CD, Make a Difference?
Well, the album in general, it was just coming time again. We were ready to record a new project, and when it, all came together and all the songs were cut and we were looking at it, Make a Difference just kind of became our anthem, if you will, for 2014. And really, I can say it's probably going to live on as an anthem in our lives in general, just because of the power that song has. The lyrics in it really challenged us. So when the album, everything was cut and done, we said, yeah, I think this is the title track. We talked to our producer, and we all agreed that's kind of the theme that we want to go for with this album and with this year. And it came together in that way, and I love singing it.
And that is a Bill Anderson song, is that right?
You're right. That is actually, he co-wrote that song, and we actually had a chance to sit down and talk to him about that, interview him about writing that song, which was an amazing experience, hearing him talk about it. But yeah, I think he did an absolutely fabulous job just capturing the everyday things of life, everyday tasks that we can do, things we can do, and do them in such an extraordinary way that we can make a difference in somebody's life through those things.
That is great. Now, how did you determine which songs to put on the CD? Were there any favorites you really wanted to record?
There's always, a few, if we're performing certain songs, we'll go, yeah, this is a favorite. And a lot of times, there will be requests from fans. People come to the table and say, I like such and such song. Do you have that on CD? So we make note of that. When our fans request a song at the table, we take mental notes of that. And a lot of times, if there's generally a strong request trending in that way, we'll end up recording that song on our next project if we're able to. Then, of course, there's original material. So we brought, I believe it was 3 songs on the last project, original material, to the table, and recorded those original songs. When we're selecting material for a CD project, we're particular about, we listen to our lyrics, we listen to the message in the song, and our desire is to each song, be packed with something that would hopefully, bless or uplift someone's spirit or speak to someone's heart, minister in some way through that song. So we listen closely to the song and the feel and melody lines and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of different things, lyrics, that go into selecting songs for an album.
Now, you have a pretty famous producer on this CD, Kevin Williams, and I want to share a quote that he has on your website. It says, "Producing this project has brought much joy to me. I am blessed and fired up every time I hear Southern Raised sing a song. The combination of their classical background along with their love for acoustic music makes their sound as unique as a snowflake. I've never seen talent quite like this before." I would agree with that. And that is, again, from Kevin Williams from the Gaither Vocal Band. How did y'all meet him?
That is a long story. I think that was back in 2012. It would have been at the National Quartet Convention. We were there for our first time, actually, at NQC in Louisville, Kentucky. And, throughout the week, we had been going out and just kind of jamming in the lobby, just kind of playing out there, singing, and a crowd would gather around and listen. We did that off and on. And it came down to the last day we were going to be there, and we were out there just jamming for a little bit before we actually left the convention center. And we had kind of run into Kevin earlier in the week in sort of a funny way. We'd pass each other going through the building and just kind of made a passing comment and a joke, and we, never really spoke other than that. But this last day, we were in the lobby jamming, and he actually was leaving the same day. He was fixing to leave the building, and he had come through the lobby just to run a quick errand and deliver something, which is interesting. As God had it planned, he never goes through the lobby, he said, at NQC. He never has any reason to go out there. He's busy either on main stage or in the convention hall. But as God had it planned, he came to the lobby. We were jamming and singing, and there was a crowd gathered around, and he was curious as to what was going on over there. He came over and listened for, it was quite a long time, 45 minutes to an hour. He came over and listened to us singing, and afterwards we visited and exchanged contact info and stayed in touch over the next, I'd say, year or so, and we just kind of keep in touch, ask him for advice or whatever, and back and forth. When it came time to start turning our attention towards our next CD project and recording that, we asked him if he'd be interested in producing that project, and he said he would, and he hopped on board, and I tell you, that was one of the most amazing experiences working with Kevin Williams. I can't say enough. He's just an incredible individual, godly, Christian, genuine. Of course, he's hilarious, You can imagine working in the studio. It's a lot of fun every day, just laughs and smiles. What I appreciated most was the fact that every morning before we began the recording process, he would start the morning with prayer, just asking God to direct what we were doing and to guide it and have it come out just as God wanted it to. So we thank the world of Kevin and thank God for having our paths cross in that way, because I believe God set that up at the National Quartet Convention in 2012. So.
Yeah, I never believe there's any accidents with God. I mean, some things we may not understand, particularly if it's bad things that happen, but they always have a purpose too.
Right.
But yeah, like you said, he never went through that way and just happened to come through. So yeah, God was directing that. Well, I want to get to this next song. It's one of them. It's on your Make a Difference. This is a very moving song. Of course, I heard the song when y'all did it and on the CD, and then I saw the video where Emily just gives an outstanding performance. Emily, tell us a little bit about Grandpa's Fiddle and what it was like filming that video.
Yeah, I really like that song. I love the message in it, just talking about the legacy that a grandparent will leave, for future generations. And yeah, filming it was just a blast. I've always loved that kind of stuff, so I really liked the opportunity to get to do that.
I was cleaning out the attic after Grandpa passed away. Lying there in the corner was a dusty fiddle case. Well, I popped those rusty hinges and I began to cry. Lying silently inside. Underneath the veil in that old fiddle case, I found the note that Grandpa wrote before he passed away. He said, "Child, if you're reading this, I'm already home. Now it's up to you to keep the music playing on." I reached for that old fiddle, I rosined up the bow. I began to play the old songs he taught me years ago, like the old rugged chorus and Amazing Grace. That old fiddle still remember every song that Grandpa played. I'm standing here today with that old fiddle in my hand. I can almost see my grandpa over in the promised land. Oh, somehow I know he's listening in that land so far away. So until I join him clouds above. I began to play the old songs he taught me years ago. Like the old rugged cross and amazing grace. That old fiddle still remember every song my grandpa played.
Well, I tell you, that ending there where you play Amazing Grace on the fiddle, that, I mean, oh, I tear up every time I hear that. It's just like, it's
Well, thank you.
so moving. I was thinking, you know, if that was the Andy Griffith Show, they'd be saying something like, that one makes me cry, Paul. So,
That's right.
now, see that you have, on your website, you have 6 CDs out, and on the first one, you guys look really young. When did you start performing together?
We very first started performing back in 2007, June of 2007, actually specifically June 2nd of 2007 was our first performing date that we ever did together as a band. So yes, everybody was drastically younger. Probably most recognizably would be Matt, I would say. He was just a little guy back then, and the guitar was just about as big as he was, if not bigger. So everybody looks at that and can't believe how much he's grown over the last 7.5 years.
You started out as classical musicians, if I understand correctly, and then you transitioned into a bluegrass band.
Yes, yeah, that was, it's kind of a long story. We did begin in the classical music genre, and that was from a young age. Very young, we started on piano and violin for the girls, and Matt was trained on the cello classically. And so through the years, growing up, we were involved, of course, in classical private lessons. We did the recitals, and in our older years, we did some orchestra as well, which was a really neat experience. But as far as hearing this style of acoustic music, when we moved, we grew up in Northwest Arkansas, and now we live near Branson, Missouri. And growing up there and living here, we heard this style of acoustic music a lot growing up, and just fell in love with it. Honestly, thought it would just be fun to get some instruments and sit on our front porch and really go no further than that. I mean, we just thought we'd have fun with it together. Never saw ourselves doing more with it. But God definitely had different plans, and the story goes way back when we were very young, probably, even before our classical music began, possibly. Our parents had heard a message on the power and impact of a family ministering together. And so at that point in our young lives, they started praying and asking God to please show them what we could do together as a family. What kind of ministry could we have together? And they never dreamed at the time, honestly, that it would involve music. They thought maybe we'd drive a van around and deliver meals to people who couldn't get out or something like that, but never envisioned music. And so through the years, we just continued classical private lessons, 7.5 years ago, got these acoustic instruments and got a phone call from someone locally here in our hometown in Missouri, and they said, I heard you got these acoustic instruments, if you come play for our church senior function. And so we said, well, sure. And the instruments were brand new. I mean, we hadn't had them very long at that point at all. And so we quickly worked up some songs. We worked up an hour of instrumentals, and I always laugh because we didn't know how to sing. We were classically trained musicians. We did not grow up harmonizing and singing. It was all, musical training on instruments. And so we played an hour of instrumentals, and bless their sweethearts, they listened to it all and got done. And there was a pastor there that invited us to his church, and another gentleman invited us to a function, and doors just kind of started opening at that point. And we all laughed. I remember the moment our mom looked at us and told us that y'all are going to have to learn how to sing. And we did, and God brought those people into our lives to teach us how to sing, how to harmonize, and God has continued to open doors. And to this day, we're excited about the doors He's opening, the opportunities. They're very exciting to us. And looking back, we believe with all our hearts this is the answer to that prayer. It's not something we tried to make happen. It was the doors He opened, and we believe this is what He had planned all along. And that classical music was laying the foundation for what lay in store for us many years down the road. Something we couldn't see at the time, but He knew what He was doing, and we're grateful to Him.
That is amazing. Yeah, well, let's I'm going to play a recent classical piece you've done called Four Seasons. Tell us a little bit about that, and then I'm going to play the song.
Yes, that is actually, for classical music fans out there, that is a piece by Vivaldi, and Vivaldi did write a very famous piece called The Four Seasons. A lot of people recognize a bit of that. One of the more famous of those Four Seasons is the summer, and so we actually went in and recorded the summer, part of summer, and had a blast recording that, and not only recording it, but then we had the opportunity to go down and film a concept video of this at a gorgeous cascading waterfall in Middle Tennessee, and it was an amazing experience. That is on our new DVD project. But yeah, Vivaldi's Four Seasons Summer for classical fans.
Well, and I like it. When I first saw that, I'm like, this is the first time I can ever remember a banjo being in a classical piece. I like it.
That's exactly, yeah, because it is performed with all of our acoustic instruments, just as you see us on stage: guitar, banjo, bass, and violin. So that's what we've got going there.
It's just amazing. Let's take a listen to it now. Well, kind of go around the room here then. For each person, who are some of your favorite musical artists or musical influences?
Okay, I'll go, I guess, first here. As for me, Lindsay, the bass player, bass artists that I look up to and just admire their style and their skill. Ben Isaacs would definitely be one of those. Phenomenal bass player. Darren Vincent, absolutely amazing, really nice guy. I look at Bill McDee's another one that I really enjoy as far as a bass player. He mentored me very early on in my bass playing, and really admire his style as well. So as far as that goes, for me, those are probably three that really stand out. I'm going to pass it on to Sarah and let her share maybe some artists that influence her.
I would have to say for the banjo, Jens Kruger is probably one of my very favorites. I love his style. He plays with the Kruger brothers, and we've had the honor of getting to see them when they come to Silver Dollar City occasionally. And his style it's a melodic style, and I really enjoy listening to him and learning from him. And then vocally, I'd probably say being three girls, singing together. Early on, we really enjoyed listening to the Perry sisters. Listening to them harmonize with each other and everything was really great. And the Isaacs, they're a huge inspiration. Love them. So those would probably be my influences. For me, there's so many, but as far as violin goes, of course, I love listening to the classical people. The precision they have is just beautiful. I love Mark O'Connor. And as far as fiddle goes, I've always liked Michael Cleveland. So those are just a few.
For me, musically, my favorite guitar player would probably be Brian Sutton. I really admire a lot of his guitar playing. And for vocally, probably my favorite singer would probably be Josh Turner.
Now, tell us where we can go online to get more information about you.
Our website is southernraisedband.com, and you can access it right there on the web. And then if you're social media people out there, Facebook's right there on the website. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and then Instagram as well. So those are three great ways if you want to keep up with any new news, releases, exciting happenings, everyday life. Those are good ways to do it. And then, of course, the website's full of music and videos and stuff like that.
Sarah, tell us about your banjo, because I noticed on the website and the pictures, you have different signatures on it.
I do, and that's been incredible getting to meet all the people that I have on there. To name a few of them would be, I've got the Isaacs on there, all three of them, Becky, Ben and Sonia. I've got Dora Lawson on there, Ricky Skaggs, Harry Bauckham, Paul Williams. Trying to remember who all I've got on there. But it's just been a huge honor to meet all those people and, get them to sign and even just visit with them for a little bit. That's been awesome.
Cool. That is really neat. You got some legends there on the signatures.
I do, yes.
Well, Lindsay, you've written a beautiful song on this CD called The Things I've Never Seen. What was the inspiration behind this song?
Yeah, that song actually came about one day. I was reading in the book of Psalms, and I'm sure people can relate. Sometimes you read a verse in the Bible and you read it many times, and it just jumps out to you all of a sudden one day in a new way like never before. And that's what happened. I was reading, and I came across the verse, the one that says, I once was young, but now I'm old, but I've never seen the righteous forsaken or his seed begging bread. And I started thinking about that, and I started asking myself, what was the psalmist? What's he trying to say? What's he trying to convey to Christians for ages to come? What's he telling us? And as I thought about it, I think he's telling us, I've lived an awful long time, and I've seen a whole lot of things, but I've never seen God leave me. I've never seen God turn his back on me. I've never seen God not provide for his children's needs. And if we think about it, that's just a precious promise for a child of God to know that no matter what we walk through in this life, no matter what illness maybe you're going through, what dark time, heartache, a difficulty, no matter what it is, he said, I won't leave your side. I'll be holding your hand the whole way through it. And that's something to take courage and take hope in. And my mind then went to the fact that, as mortal humans, we're very visual people. If you think about it, we mark milestones in our lives by places we've been or things that we've seen, memories that we've experienced visually with our eyes. But as I thought more about it, I think some of the most beautiful things for you and I will not be necessarily the things that we see with our mortal eyes. I think some of the most beautiful things for us will be the things that we'll never see. We'll never see God leave us. We'll never see Him forsake us. We'll never see Him not provide for our needs. And I'm very, very grateful for that we serve that kind of a God.
Oh, once upon a time, not so long ago, I was so young, but now I am quite old. Oh, I've seen pain and tragedy, triumph and success, but the things I've never seen are the things that
Now, Matt, I understand that you are a music composer and you've written a song on this CD called River of Rest. Tell us a little bit about that and how you approach writing music.
Well, River of Rest was written over a period of time. I basically just started out with a basic little melody, and then I just kind of built off that, and then we came together as a group, and we all just started adding our own parts and adding the different little unique things in it. So it was just kind of a lengthy process that was built over a period of time.
Well, let's take a listen to River of Rest. Do y'all have a favorite Bible verse, either individually or collectively?
I do. Usually every time I autograph my name, actually, on a product or picture, I usually put Isaiah 26:3 with it. Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on me because he trusteth in me. And that's definitely one of my favorites.
One of mine would have to be the one I always find with my name is Psalm 66:16, and it's, "Come and hear, all you that fear God, and I will declare what he has done for my soul." And I just kind of feel like that's my life verse. I feel like that's what he's given me the opportunity to do, is to stand on stage and declare what he saved me from. So I'm just so grateful for that.
Mine is probably Psalm 8:4. I love that verse. What is man that thou art mindful of him, and the son of man that thou visitest him? And I think that's just a beautiful verse, that God would love us despite what we are.
Mine would probably be Romans 5:8, where it just talks about that while we were yet sinners, Christ loved us, and how much love that is, that he could love us while we were yet sinners.
Isn't that the truth? I was thinking about that the other day. It's like that verse. I didn't know exactly where it was. I just remembered. But yeah, that's a great one. I loved all of them you mentioned. Those are wonderful. Well, I want to play the favorite song of mine that you guys do. It's the first one I saw. It's called "The Scarlet Chord," and it's such a powerful song, not only musically but the story behind it. Tell us about the story behind the song, because it's based on actual Bible verses.
You're right. It is. That song we actually co-wrote with a friend of ours, and he done the lyrics on it and brought it to us, gave us the lyrics, and we just fell in love with it. We was like, oh, this is just amazing. It was powerful, and asked us to put music to it. He wrote it based off the story back in the Old Testament where we find Rahab. And, of course, Rahab, her life and what she had done, of course, was not respectable, and she was not looked upon very well, but yet God extended mercy and grace to her family through that scarlet cord that was hung from her window. Her and her family were saved from the trouble that was coming. And it's just beautifully paralleled with what Jesus Christ has done for us. Our lives, everything our best, we've fallen short of God's glory. We've fallen short of what we should be. But yet, despite that we don't deserve mercy and grace, we don't deserve a pardon, yet he so freely went to Calvary and shed that blood, pictured as the scarlet cord, and he extends that to us individually as a free gift, a way out, as the song says, of what we deserve, or the condemnation of our sins. If you grab a hold of that scarlet cord, it's your salvation, and I'm grateful for that, and grateful that despite what we are, he still loves us and gives us mercy and grace and salvation.
Salvation to Rahab's house that day, and it would stand as a picture of the price our Lord would pay. If you're looking for a way out of the judgment that awaits, Jesus' blood is the only of the price our Lord would pay. If you're looking for a way out of the judgment that awaits, the scarlet cord of Jesus' blood is the only way. If you're looking for a way out of the judgment that awaits, the scarlet cord of Jesus' blood, it's still the only way.
I love the opening of that song. It's got like a Middle Eastern feel to it, like something you would hear in Jesus' day.
It does, and that was something deliberate, that when they were writing the melody for that, they really wanted to put that feel into it, and so especially that mandolin intro, has that, just, I think, that kind of a Jewish kind of melancholy sound to it, that I really kind of takes you back almost to the Old Testament, it feels like.
Now, Lindsay, you have written a wonderful blog on the website called Pardon. Can you share that, a little bit of that with us?
Yes, I actually first heard that story. It's a true story from history, but I came across it through Pastor Adrian Rogers. He has amazing material, and I came across it through there, and it really struck me, and it was powerful. The story from history actually happened back in the 1800s, and there was a man named George Wilson, and George Wilson had been convicted of murder, and he was sentenced to be hanged for his crime. And while he was awaiting his execution in prison, he had some friends that came and petitioned President Jackson for a pardon, and amazingly enough, the pardon was granted. It was taken to the prison and was given to Mr. Wilson. But to everyone's shock and astonishment, he rejected the pardon, and he said, "No, I'm going to hang." And as you can imagine, no one expected that to happen. And a pardon, of course, was unheard of, being rejected. It hadn't happened up to this point in history. And so no one really knew how to handle it. No one knew what to do. And so this discussion of what to do with the rejected pardon actually went all the way up to the Supreme Court. And they discussed it and much lengthy deliberation about it. And after a long time, they finally came to the conclusion, what the judge said. He said, "A pardon is just simply a piece of paper, the value of which depends upon the acceptance of the person implicated." And I think that's amazing, because I think that's much like what Jesus Christ has done for us. Talking about that scarlet cord and salvation in Jesus Christ. It's a free gift, and He holds it out to us, He extends it to us, but that pardon, that free gift of salvation, does us no good unless we reach out and we accept it, and we make it personal in our lives and ask Him to apply His blood to our lives personally and to save us. Just like Mr. Wilson in the 1800s in history, he could have chosen life, but he didn't. He chose death instead. But the good news is that we can choose life in Jesus Christ. You can grab a hold of that pardon and free gift of salvation and choose eternal life with Him. And I think it's a wonderful way to get people, just encourage them to think about what Jesus Christ has done. It doesn't depend on what we do. It all depends on the finished work of Jesus Christ.
Exactly. Well, what is the most important thing that the Lord has done for each of you?
Most important thing the Lord has done, probably, I'd say collectively, speaking for each of us as a band and together, probably, of course, saving our souls. The salvation in Jesus Christ would be number one. But just the fact that He allows us to do what we do has given us an opportunity. We just feel like it's an honor to be able to do what we do, and that He allows us to do it. The gifts come from Him, and we're very grateful to Him. and we feel like he's been very good and kind, and we just thank him for that.
Well, on this next song, I love this next song. It's called "Good News from the Graveyard," and it features Matthew's bass voice. I just love the "Devil's in Despair" line. I just love it. This is great. So, tell us a little bit about where did that song, was that one y'all wrote, or?
No, actually, that one I believe is written by Victor Jones. Maybe he co-wrote it with someone. I think maybe him and his brother. Two brothers wrote that song. And we actually heard a version of the Perry Sisters doing that years ago, way back when they were in a group, still record that song. And we kind of changed it up with our acoustic instruments and rearranged it, and did a new version of it. And we just love the lyrics on it. It's awesome. It's it just lifts your spirits. Everybody, when you hear those lyrics, it's just, you get excited about it.
Good news from the graveyard. He's not dead. Woo-hoo-hoo. I seek ye the living among the dead. There was a resurrection, just like you said. Oh, grave, where is your victory? Oh, death, where is your sting? Oh, hell has lost its power, and now he holds the key. Go tell my disciples I've risen from the dead. Good news from the graveyard. He's not there. Good news from the graveyard. Good news from the tomb. What was a final resting place is now an empty room. All hell is in an uproar.
The devil's in despair.
Oh, good news from the graveyard. He's not there. Imagine for a moment, try and picture this. You're standing by the graveside of a loved one you have missed. You'll hear the trumpet sounding, it starts to make the call. The dead in Christ are rising from the power of it all. Redeemed are rejoicing, there's a meaning in the air. Good news from the grave, good news from the graveyard. They're not there. Good news from the graveyard, good news from the tomb. What was a final resting place is now an empty room. All hell is in an uproar.
The devil's in despair.
Oh, good news from the graveyard. He's not there. He's none.
Now, what are some of your interests and hobbies that y'all enjoy when you're not performing or traveling?
All right. Well, I'll start here at the top since I guess I'm the oldest. This is Lindsay. So for me, probably when I'm not traveling, I enjoy writing. Of course, I write for the band, but even if we're not traveling, I enjoy writing as well as a lyricist. I also like being outside. I love gardening. I love my flowers and herbs and getting my hands in the dirt outside. So in the summertime, usually if I'm not on the road, I'm outside doing something or working in the yard. Or even this time of the year, I love being outside as well. So I'm into all that outdoorsy kind of stuff.
Now, did I
personally
read on your website that you built a fish pond?
I did.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, I have to give credit to all of my siblings and Dad. They all helped me because, of course, living in Stone County, Missouri, we had to dig through bedrock with a chisel. Basically, it was all by hand, shovels and pickaxes, and so we had to chisel through all that and actually dug it out and built a fish pond and waterfall. That was a dream of mine since I was very young to do that. So I've got all my water plants and goldfish and all that kind of thing. I love it.
Some of my favorite hobbies are I love to read. Having a good book to read, especially this time of year, the fall is one of my favorite times of year. So having a good fire going, and a cup of coffee, and a good book is one of my favorite things to do. And I enjoy sewing, cooking when I'm home, and I enjoy being outside too. I love, like I said, the fall weather and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Some of my favorites would probably be, we live on a cattle ranch in Missouri here, and so I'd work with the cattle a lot, doing that. And then also I like doing archery. I enjoy that, and I collect knives and coins, and so that's just, I like guns too, so that's just a few of my hobbies.
Neat. Okay.
I like to draw and paint, that kind of stuff. I'm actually working on a book right now, so I'm writing that. Matt mentioned archery. We like to do archery together. So those are a few things I like to do.
Now, did I read somewhere that you find the periodic table cool? I think
Yeah, that too. I actually have one hanging up over my bed. So.
I think I was asleep at the switch when they taught that in school because I couldn't remember anything from it. So if I'm ever on like a game show or something and somebody asks me about the periodic table, I'm calling you to get the information. If there's like a lifeline.
Okay, that's awesome.
So, and Sarah mentioned cooking. When I was on your website, I also got hungry because I'm reading about spaghetti and cinnamon rolls and macaroni and cheese, and I'm getting hungry now just talking about it.
Yeah, Sarah's got a secret spaghetti sauce recipe that she just kills, which is really good. It's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah. And I like to do more of the bread kind of dough baking.
Lindsay's a cinnamon roll maker. She makes a really good cinnamon roll.
Well, do you have any projects coming up again? Any new projects coming up, or basically at this point you're just kind of touring and on the road?
Well, actually, right now we have just released a brand new DVD project. It's probably been out. I think it's been about 2 weeks now. It's been out. Released that. Very excited about the DVD project. It was filmed at Barbara Mandrell's previous 27,000 square foot mansion there in Nashville, Tennessee. Filmed in her gorgeous log home. It was in the great room there, and then down on the glass covered pool that was lit from below. It was just a gorgeous venue to film in, and filmed the DVD project there, and then also that classical piece I was talking about earlier, filmed at the Cascading Falls, Carmack Falls there in Middle Tennessee. So that was on the DVD as well. Interviews with country music legend Bill Anderson are on there. Interviews with the band, so a lot of really fun stuff on the new DVD project. We're very excited about all of the new music off the CD is on that project as well. So you're getting Grandpa's Fiddle is filmed concept video style, as you talked about earlier. So very excited about what all that DVD has in store. As far as a new CD project, that's in the works right now. As far as we're in the stages right now of talking about that. We're planning it, going through, as we talked about earlier, picking material. So we're picking out the songs. We're writing songs for that project right now, and listening to what people are saying. What are some of the favorites that are coming to the table, people wanting to hear on CD. So we're in the process of just working through selecting, and then hopefully I would be looking for a new CD release, Lord willing, 2015 sometime.
Yay! I can't wait. Can't wait. Well, this has just been such a blessing to me, as your music has been, and thank you so much for coming on the show, and I will be praying for you, as I'm sure the audience will, for your travel and your upcoming CD and everything.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. This has been great.
It's been awesome talking to you. An honor.